Hello, people. I'm Jasmine.
Mike Lowe.
Alright, what's up? So sorry we're late. We are so late, but my computer's mic wasn't working. But this is our first broadcast for SATX4, you know what I'm saying? And we are here to talk about how can we stay relevant, because it seems like when nobody's dying currently on TV at the moment, or nobody's mad or yelling or protesting, it just seems like everything fades out. So y'all get on Twitter, talk to me, because I'm tweeting y'all right here. And go ahead, Mike, you can start us off, man.
So one of the things that we here in San Antonio trying to stay involved in the movement as we see the outcry of our country, and we want to be in solidarity with cities like Ferguson, New York, LA, Florida. One of the questions that myself being one of the co-founders and Jazz right here being the other co-founder of SATX4 is, how do we engage a community who doesn't see the relevance of the movement? They basically think the moment is gone, it's come and gone, so let's just go back to business as usual. How do we engage those individuals? So that's one of the first questions we're asking, is how do we engage a community who does not see the relevance of furthering the movement?
Try and tweet y'all. I don't know what y'all saying.
Jazz?
Well, first of all, I actually don't know. That's why we're here, to speak on it. I don't know. Some of my first thoughts are honestly like pop culture. Like, y'all all watched the Grammys probably, and y'all saw Obama come in. He slid right in real quick in the middle of the Grammys at its peak and started talking about how it's on us. And that was about what women and domestic violence and being abused in their relationships. And it was really great for him to just have that platform and then have the support of Katy Perry and the speaker that came before her performance to roll right off of that. So it looked like the president, first off, knows how to reach the youth. Second off, knows how to leverage that platform to get to the most people, because Katy Perry has the most followers on Twitter ever. So first thing I think about literally is pop culture and the different things that actually appeal to people, and then putting that social message in there. So honestly, where can we insert Black Lives Matter where you don't think it's about to come up? Like, I don't know. What's popular? Sometimes bike riding's popular. Starbucks is popular. What if Starbucks had Black Lives Matter coffee, the coffee handles that keep your hands from burning? Like, how do we insert things like that? And how do we keep it from being a fad? Because honestly, everybody forgot about Trayvon Martin until this year. I mean, we didn't, no, but the world did. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, y'all tweet us with Black Lives Still Matter. I'm trying to see what y'all think.
I believe that you kind of hit on something that's very pivotal. And we can see all across the country that we are not looking to our leadership to be at the forefront of this movement. And that's been one of the places where we have failed in looking to leadership from the highest office, with President Obama even addressing Ferguson and New York in the State of the Union address. But because of their platform, and they have to tiptoe and tap dance and, shuck and jive, as my mother would say, then we look to organizations like Hands Up United. We look to organizations like the Justice League of NYC, the Dream Defenders, organizations like BYP 100, Blackout Collect, to really help us understand. Ferguson Action, another organization, to help us really find ways in which to engage the community, and especially those who are not really or haven't really bought into the idea of why Black Lives Still Matter. So shout out to those organizations we just mentioned.
Shout out for real.
We are big on learning and growing, and we look to these organizations who are very well established to help us understand different things that we can do to engage. And so if you're not following any of those organizations I listed, you might want to start following them and taking very good notes. But I think those organizations have set the bar on how to make sure that we engage that audience who, for lack of a better word, are not committed to the cause as we are.
Yeah, because honestly, I don't know if it's more important for us to talk to high schoolers and teach them stuff, talk to people my age. I'm 23, even though I don't look like it. Talk to people his age, 50, 60. You're not 50, but you know what I mean. Like, it's different when you're talking to different age groups, and that's true. Like, that's just true. So we think about, okay, we think about what age group. I don't know, high school. Think about what they're learning. They learn Texas history in middle school for sure. And they're learning random parts of history in high school. But does that really matter to them? Not really. When they think back and start learning more maybe about Black history this month, all things that people say, they realize, oh, I'm not really hearing that in my school. I wonder why. We're like, we know why. Different things like that.
I think you touched on something too, Jazz. And I think Alicia's here, just joined us. Alicia in the building.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you caught that first question that we asked. Basically, how do we engage individuals who have not really bought into being fully committed to the movement? They were committed to the moment, but now they feel the moment's passed. So how do we continue to stay engaged with that audience? You have something you can speak to on that?
I guess you should capitalize on what made them be committed to the moment in the first place. If it was a fleeting, emotion, then you can't really capture that. But there was something that spoke to them, and you just gotta find that and let that grow and mature that aspect of whatever they feel is important to them in their lives and their future.
I'm so sorry. We could barely hear you, but I hope that people who are watching can hear you.
Give us a second.
Give us a second while we figure it out. It's our first time doing this, guys. So I have no clue how this works. I actually don't even know how to share it on Twitter, but I'm glad Alicia found it. Because apparently I sent the link to join us on the Google Hangout, which is perfect.
But, there's Kathleen. There she is.
Let me see. I'm going to put in my headphones and see if I can hear you better. Oh, hey, Catherine. She's on here. I can hear you way better with my headphones. I just don't want to exclude Mike.
Oh, cool.
Well, what's good?
It says it's live right now, though. I don't know. Read back on.
So forgive us.
Give me the other. No, the other side. I have the right one. I need the right. Man, I'm sorry. We're figuring it out.
Yeah, so we had a little technical difficulty there.
A little. I'm tweeting
so,
for us.
Alicia, can you just really do that over again? Good to see you, Catherine.
Hi.
Yeah, what I said was to keep people engaged who were, engaged, like you said, in the moment when things started happening. You need to figure out what in that moment spoke to them and try to capitalize off of that and try to grow what that portion of it. And for me, it was linking it to my unborn children. Like I had a real like come to Jesus moment, like, wow, my kids who aren't even born yet are gonna have to go through this. And I was like, nah, I'm not down for that. So I actually, for me, it's the kids. Like it's not their fault and it's not fair that they grow up, you know, knowing or believing that they're second best.
I like that.
I like that thought a lot. It's like, for me, like talking to my little cousins and stuff, I think it only hit home with them when they realized the age of the people. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Mike was 18, Tamir Rice was 12, and I'm like, yeah, you're 15 years old. And then they kind of get a little nervous, like, wow, somebody would do that, and they can't get funded. They don't get punished for it. There's no problem with it. And so I think that's when we have to realize what kind of language or how we can talk to high schoolers about it, because you know, they're growing up in these schools and like they think they have friends, but then when it comes to this, like a moment like this, and then their friend is like, yeah, he was a thug, they should have killed him, and then they feel some type of way. Like, man, so would you justify my death if something happened like that? So I feel like we have to be able to talk to every type of age group about it in a different way, but still saying the same thing for it to still matter. But like you said, Alicia, yeah, you gotta really capitalize off of that moment. And if we don't capitalize off that moment, I feel like people think, okay, you know, it is going to fade away because we didn't launch off that platform.
So, Catherine, we'll pose the question to you, being that you just joined us. And the question basically is, how do we engage members within our community who really haven't bought into the Black Lives Still Matter idea and carrying on the movement, and there was just a moment for them?
Right. I guess I think part of it is just calling attention to incidents of police violence that happen like all the time. I mean, I think it's like interesting, right, that there was this moment where a few cases were called attention to in the wake of the Michael Brown murder. But it's not as though this doesn't happen on a daily basis in cities across the United States. So I do think part of the movement's responsibility nationally is just to kind of keep calling attention to those events. But then I also think, like, I guess just like doing the education, like that's one reason I'm really excited about our, you know, like doing the new Jim Crow reading group and that kind of thing, like just kind of helping people understand that these aren't isolated incidents, right, that they're part of institutionalized racism in the United States. And I know obviously a lot of people know that, but I think a lot of people, especially white people, don't so much. And so I think